I came back to York College to finish my degree in music. I think it has a lot to do with the community itself. I wanted to be able to finish my education in a place where I could, be proud to contribute what I've learned back to the community that kind of raised me. So it felt like a right fit. Several people knew of my community ties and some of the work that I do with organizations in the community. So President Key said, "Well, let me just give this a try, see how this fits out, how it fits rather, with Jonathan as the director." So she tried it out, and I've been now going on 10 years in the position. So I think it's worked out pretty well. My name is Jonathan Quash. I'm the director of the York College Male Initiative Program. The Male Initiative Program is part of CUNY's Black Male Initiative Program. The program is designed to enroll and retain students of what we call underrepresented populations. So our particular focus is on Black and Latino males, but it actually is any underrepresented population within higher education. So we're in existence to get those students into college, and once they get here, to help them graduate. So once they're here, we try to work with them and do what we call student engagement. So we get them involved with activities, we get them involved with a mentor, try to pair them up with students who are older in the college, like juniors and seniors, and we work with them on making sure that they have all the tools that they need to graduate. Sometimes it's a workshop, sometimes it's an ongoing process, sometimes it's academic assistance. So we do it in a variety of ways, but we try to just make sure that they have everything that they need to finish. Well, the biggest goal is to have more of our guys graduate, but not just graduate with honors and then move on to graduate or professional opportunity programs. We have a great success rate. Our retention rate from my program is about 93%. The only reason why it's not 100% is sometimes students have financial difficulties, and I understand they can't continue to come. But we have an amazing retention rate. But I'd love for those guys who do graduate to ultimately move into graduate programs and other opportunities. Only because I have a lot of students who graduate sometimes with a degree in whatever, like psychology or business or whatever. And then when they do graduate, they don't really have they're not in a better position in their field. So they didn't really get a chance to do any interning, or they didn't get a chance to kind of network before they graduated. So they graduated, and they say, here I am with this degree, now what? Now what do I do? So I'd like to really build our program up a little bit more on the graduate side so that we can actually have more students that we can report to the university that, not only did we have 12 guys graduate, but 10 of those guys went on to get their master's or PhD. So we're offering in the summer, again this summer, a robotics program that will help students learn how to build robots. So that means you have to become familiar with physics, you have to learn computer programming, you have to learn a little bit of electronics, but you also have to learn how to work together with groups. You have to work with the group that you're working with on that particular project. And then there's even a competition involved. A lot of other schools, in addition to New York City Tech obviously, are involved with robotics, but we at York are trying to get involved more, because that's really where the future is in terms of career and advancement, funding, research. All that's, we have a SEMA program, as you probably know, the Science Engineering Mathematics program that's co-sponsored by NASA. But that hasn't really translated into York itself. Those are younger kids, middle school kids, and some high school kids who work with the program in the summer and on the weekends, but York still hasn't really quite embraced that yet. So we're trying to move in that direction. So I think with respect to growth, I think those are some of the areas that we're trying to grow into, some of the new technology and new developments within higher education itself.
Mr. Quash, tell me more about yourself as a musician graduating from York. When did you like music?
Well, I think from the very early stages of my elementary school career, I began to get involved with music. I was part of the school choir. I played trombone in the school bands, in the jazz band, and the marching band. And then I shifted over to piano and organ after that. And sort of loved music ever since. I gave music up when I was in high school, but then I came back to it when I began college. And so I began to really love various styles of music, particularly musical theater. So one of my passions was going to theaters, going to Broadway shows, a lot of musicals, and growing up listening to that, even opera. And so that's probably what has helped influence what I do today, is a lot of that background.
Okay, so in high school you stopped liking music and then you went back in college. What made you want to get back into music in college?
Because I hated what I was doing in high school. I went to Thomas Edison High School right here in Jamaica, and I studied computer electronics, since I was building computers and programming, things like that. I really didn't like it at all. It was miserable. I did it, but then after I graduated high school, I said, I can't do this. I'm not going to go to college for engineering, and I really didn't really like going through the 4 years of high school. So I switched to music major. I kind of compromised, went into sound recording technology, but ultimately when I came to York, I switched to just this music performance major. So I was a conductor. That was part of what my training is background-wise. So that's the reason why on campus now I conduct a lot of shows, like in the theater, as well as the choir, the school choir, things like that.
You teach?
I do. I teach for two departments. I teach for performing and fine arts. I teach for adult and continuing education, and the classes I teach range from choir to piano, voice, music history. Sometimes I'll substitute for theory and different things, but usually it's a piano or choir class.
What do you want them to have like in the future for them?
To be honest, what I'd really love is for them to increase their awareness and appreciation of music, but also to have a better understanding as to what it takes to be a performer. The real goal is for them to understand that music itself is an art form, and it takes a great discipline in order to be really good at it and successful. It's not something you can just kind of do overnight and expect to be rich like tomorrow. It does require a lot of dedication, a lot of focus. It requires a little bit of luck.
Do you ever, like in the future in music, do you ever consider maybe going, worldwide in your music?
I sometimes think about that, and then I'd have to give up what I do here. So I kind of hesitate. I mean, if that happens, great. But in the meantime, if not, then at least I have insurance. No, I'm kidding. No, at least I have a plan that I can still help. I find a lot of joy in helping people.
What do you like about your college?
I think York is what makes it so special to me is that it's a school that is family-based in terms of, there's a definite kind of family atmosphere. It's small enough, in other words, but it also has great potential to do some really great things. I think we produce by far a better quality students than probably some of the other colleges that they compare us to. But I can go into, as an example, I can go into a hospital and find a York College grad side by side with a Columbia grad, and they both have the same background and training. It's just that one has a degree from York, one has a degree from Columbia, but they're both doing excellent work, and that I'll be honest with you, that has happened to me. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.